Hi guys, welcome back to August Love Story, the channel. My name is Artieka.
And I'm Tommy.
And today we are reviewing Married at First Sight, season 14, episode 4. I don't know the title. I just realized that I haven't looked at the title at all this season. Mm-hmm. If you guys haven't already, please take a minute to subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and let's review.
Let's do it.
Is there any couple in particular you would like to smile with? Did anyone give you a warm and fuzzy feeling?
Nah, I don't care. Jasmine and Michael is cool.
All right.
They always give me a warm and fuzzy feeling.
Okay. So Jasmina and Michael, let's see. First note I have is that they're in bed the morning after their wedding, and he shares a conversation that he had with her stepdad about her not bullying him. And she's like, my stepdad always says stuff like that. Yeah. I guess it's like you said about Tasia of Ready to Love. She liked to argue. Yeah.
She liked to have strong debates about things.
So they have breakfast in bed and they talk about her new last name. So after that, they are going to, as we see every season, they're going to go have the family meeting. So she meets up with his sisters. And his sisters start off asking, did they have sex? And she's like, no. She didn't find it offensive, though, thankfully. Yeah. Because, you know, there's one person on this cast this season that will find everything offensive.
Can't wait to talk about her.
She said no. And basically, she was saying that he's a gentleman. You know, I really do. I like what I've seen so far. Yeah. And she asked them, is there anything that she needs to know about him? And they're like, when he's angry, he walks away to cool off. And she's like, nah, sometimes we need to stay in the situation and talk about it. And I'm like, that's going to be your problem, Jasmine.
That's definitely going to be an issue. Like, sometimes it's okay to just table a situation and come back to it. Just because, man, you have to get your thoughts together. You know, a lot of times it's just something that, you know, really ain't that important. You know,
most arguments are not really that important when you look back on them, but in the moment, they seem like the biggest most, thing in the room that we could like disagree on in this moment. They did also tell her that he thinks the worst of situations, and she's like, I don't really like that either. But
she was like, that was a red flag to her, and I was like, I get it, you know, why it would be a red flag, but that's something that I always look at things that, you know, the couples can actually work through, right? He's always thinking of a plan B. She's going with the more optimistic side of, you know, it'll be okay until it's not.
And I get that because you and I are kind of like that, like, don't want to go into a full story time. But I remember when our apartment caught on fire right before we got married, you were literally like, beeline, worst case scenario. Yeah. Like, what is the worst that can happen in this situation? And I was like, hey, we pay for insurance, so we're prepared for this. Yeah. We're good. And you're like, no, on the inside. So it was just like, I had to then take control of the situation and just not let you handle it because you were stressing me out being the negative Nancy about it. Yeah. I guess I should call you negative Nathan about it.
Yeah, whatever. But yeah, I mean, like, yeah, that's the same, like, prime example. But that's what I meant by when, like, that's just things they have to work through, because I think is, you know, it's good to be like, okay, this situation happened. The worst thing that could happen, or the worst thing that I could think of, you know, in the situation happening is this. This is my baseline. Okay, so now we can focus on the more optimistic side of it, which most of the time it's like, the worst thing is so bad, it's like, it's hard to think about the optimistic side. That's where she comes along, and her being the optimistic one in the relationship, she then brings that balance that he needs in thinking so negatively in situations.
So then they get into a conversation and she revealed that she's only ever been in long distance relationships. And I was like, I know I didn't watch the casting special, but you did.
I don't remember.
And I was about to say, I don't remember you ever bringing that up when you were telling me about the people.
I was like, that had to be hard on her, man.
Yeah. Cause I remember in high school, my boyfriend graduated high school before me, and he went to college like an hour away. And that was just like, oh my God, he moved to Egypt. That's what it felt like because it was so far away. And I was used to seeing him so much more than that, even though it was never an everyday thing.
Yeah.
It was still like, you're so far away. But I guess if you have distance as a boundary the entire time, then you never feel like, oh my goodness, you're never here.
Right.
We can't do anything together. So after that, Mike sits down with Jasmina's mom and her sisters and Kim.
That's the mom, right?
Mm-hmm. Kim was like, let me tell you this. I don't like it. I still don't like it. I'm going to let you do this. But I don't like it.
Yeah. I take it she didn't like this situation.
What did Queen say the other day? That is not good.
Yeah, that is not good. That is not good. He just has to win her over. He has to say what he means, mean what he says, and follow up with what he promises. So
he did reveal in this conversation with Kim and the sisters that he has never seen an example of a positive marriage. And she was like, Jasmina has seen both a marriage be destroyed, which was Kim and Jasmina's dad, as well as a positive marriage, which is now Kim and Jasmina's stepdad. I don't remember his name.
I don't either.
But I get that process, but I also think that can make people not having versions of marriage around them can make them want to have an idealized version of marriage. But then we also see, like last season with Zach, having a marriage around them can also make them come with these crazy things. And I don't even want to say crazy. Let me take that word out. He comes up with this whole scenario of what marriage looks like, and there's no room for deviation at all.
I think we need to change that sentence of what marriage looks like to what your marriage looks like, because just like every person individually is different. You know what I'm saying? Every marriage is different, and what makes you tick may not make this other marriage tick. There are fundamentals and basic fundamentals, but that's just being a good human being, having a relationship with a friend or, those basic things. But like how your marriage flows, that's something that you have to determine with your spouse and your partner. And these people have an opportunity to do that. And I think Michael has to be open to some ideas, and Jasmina has to kind of try to understand Michael better, in that situation. So,
pretty much ending that conversation, Kim was just like, I got my good eye on you.
She sure was.
So then couples reconvene, or that couple reconvenes at the ending of the two separate family meetups. They talk about potentially having a conflict. Jasmina says she's not interested in talking about problems that can arise. And he's like, they're going to happen. We just need to see when they're going to happen and how we're going to handle them.
Yeah, I was like, man, just chill. Like, just allow them to happen. Like, that's something you can keep to yourself. When he was talking to her about that, I was like, bro, like, y'all on y'all honeymoon at this point, You just looking for it to, like, you want to argue right now? Is that what you want to do?
I say, oh, you like to argue.
I ain't gonna argue with you. You mad.
Anywho, do you have anything else for them?
That's it, man.
Who you want to go to next?
We can go Noy and Steve.
All right. So we start off wedding night with Noy and Steve, and Steve proposed to Noy. I guess I can't say again because it's for the first time with the ring pop that he had at the ceremony. She's like, oh my God. Over breakfast, which is of course the next morning, they discuss her dog and how the dog sleeps with her. So he's gonna have to get used to it, I guess.
Yeah, they was gonna have to fight it out.
Yeah, she was like, battle.
They didn't have sex though.
They did not. I wasn't expecting them to, but I don't think that they are going to be a weird when it comes to sex couple.
Yeah.
I just, as we both know, weddings are long. And I also don't know you. So you go through this whole long wedding, then I don't know you. Kind of makes an easy environment for me to be just like, I'm tired.
That's what like a lot. I feel like, and I know we talking about Noy and Steve. I feel like Elijahuan gave the realest answer that he could possibly give. He's like, if she wants to. Everybody else was like, no. Like, man, if she said, hey, we're married, let's do this.
He would have been like, hey, let's do it.
Anyway, go ahead.
So Noy meets up with Steve's parents. And the conversation seems just really, really easy between her and his parents.
Yeah.
Noy cried because Steve embraced her culture by wearing the sash. And, you know, basically mom and dad were like, welcome.
Yeah.
We like you.
Her dad did ask about the job like situation for Steve. Mm-hmm. And she was like, they got some things to talk about. You think? So, okay.
Is Steve unemployed? Like, the only income I could possibly be having come in is, like unemployment? Or I thought Steve was a freelancer.
Yeah. That's what he is. He's more of a freelancer. So I guess when I think of freelancer, I think of Fiverr.
And see, I think of it as more.
But it's probably more like Steve needs to be like, look, this is what's happening.
I don't clock in.
Yeah.
However, I make money. And I think that maybe he did explain it to Noy in that way. And that's why Noy doesn't have a problem with it. Because again, like a freelancer can make great money. And projects can be long. Like you can sign like a year-long contract to do it, but that's not your job. That is just the job that you're doing currently, and you don't have to clock in.
But it's like, man, we put so much focus on it, and it's a concern from both sides because both sides actually talked about it, and it's like, I don't know, like it's weird that he actually signed up for this. But he even said something concerning to me was like, talking about if he gets a job and stuff like that, to take care of his family. I was like, yeah, y'all have a lot to talk about when it comes to finances because, man, that's a major part of marriage.
But again, if Steve is making the money, there's really not a large finance conversation to have.
It has to be had.
Yeah, it has to be had, but it's not like a major conversation. This is how much money I make doing freelancing. Oh, okay. Could be more than she makes at her job.
Could be.
We just never know. I feel like it's the technicality of it all. Like my job doesn't offer insurance. That's the technicality.
No, it's the so unsureness of his financial well-being. And then you talk about kids, you talk about having a family and stuff like that. You have to take care of this stuff.
Mm-hmm. But that's what I'm saying though. Like if he makes the money.
But that's the thing. Nobody knows if he makes the money.
Right. And that's just a easy conversation to have with him. And then you can jump to the conclusions.
Yeah.
Let's see. Noy meets with Steve's parent. I'm sorry. Steve meets with Noy, her brother.
Yeah. Sriracha.
Her sister. I'm trying to remember who all was there.
And her dad.
Her mom was there. Her mom was there too. Sriracha showed up, which, you know, I wish that I could have picked Sriracha up from that conversation and dropped Sriracha off with Chris's parents.
Wow.
To pull more things out of Alyssa.
Oh,
like, say what you mean what you say.
Yeah.
Like, Sriracha is spicy. Don't get me wrong. But I don't think that Steve needed spicy.
Nah.
So
I think Steve handled those questions well.
Oh, he did. He did. Her family definitely had a lot of conversations about him needing a job. Them being married and the want and desire to have kids of Noy. And that conversation went well. I don't have any issues. I mean, I think that Steve and Sriracha are going to have a lot of laughs when Sriracha shows up.
Yeah.
But you just... Like, I'm happy that whole family unit and all of their, like, Spitfire questions were handled well by Steve.
Because a lot of people wouldn't be able to handle rapid fire questions like that.
Right.
Or, you know, it's probably, like, how they edit it, but...
So after that, they meet back up, go back to their hotel room. Actually, they had a conversation outside on, like, a park bench or something. That conversation's a little fuzzy. Don't really remember it. I think he just told her Sriracha showed up. Mm-hmm. They go back up to their room, find out that they are going to Puerto Rico, and they start mapping out what they gonna do in Puerto Rico.
Yeah. Nothing big happened with them in Puerto Rico. Is kind of on this episode. We did find out she's kind of afraid of heights.
Mm-hmm.
And
she's like, I'm short.
He was like, I want to go parasailing and ziplining. And she looked, as to say,
you find somebody else to do that.
Yeah, you might have to do that with the group, brother.
I'll be on the land when you get back.
Right. That's funny.
And I felt that because that was me.
Yeah.
You gonna go Katina and Elijahuan or Lindsay and Mark? Or did you have anything else for them?
No, that was it for them. Let's go. It don't matter.
Let's go Lindsay and Mark because I have more to say about them, and that leads into some conversation about Katina and Elijahuan.
All right.
So, on the night of the wedding, Lindsay and Mark did sit down and talk about Lindsay and her mom issues. And Mark shared about his mom and her depression. He was like, she retired from her job and she stopped wearing clothes. And from there, when his dad got sick, it just spiraled into, now I'm not getting up out of the bed. Now I'm not using the bathroom. It was just like,
that's actually what happened to my dad.
Yeah. It's, it felt like a little bit of trauma bonding, like, but they can understand each other because it's not that Mark doesn't have a good relationship with his mom. His mom is just not in a position to have a good relationship with anybody. Mm-hmm. Don't really know all the details. I'm sure they edited quite a bit out for Lindsay's situation. But I find it so strange that there was like 30 years of mom and dad were together. Dad got a divorce from mom, and I hate you too, Lindsay.
Dang.
Because
it's weird.
That's what it sounds like, right?
Yeah, it's truly weird.
So Mark gets up to go, I guess, take his shower before they go to bed, and Lindsay stages the hotel room.
She stages it.
Sages.
Oh, yeah.
She burns sage.
That was in the other episode.
No, that happened in this one.
Oh.
She had on that little pink nightgown.
Oh, okay.
She did it. They wake up the next morning, have breakfast, and talk about why they did Married at First Sight. I think it's really interesting to hear Mark's why, because he's done this not once, but twice.
Yeah.
Lindsay sits down with Mark's friends because, of course, his family can't be there. I think he's an only child.
Yeah.
His mom is in a facility and his dad passed away.
Mm-hmm.
So his friends seem to be very, very happy that the two of them were matched. They joked a lot about the cats, and she was like, at our housewarming, we're going to be giving cats away because we got too many. So everybody gets to walk out of the door with a cat. I felt like as friends, they did a good job of reassuring her that he was a great guy.
Yeah.
And her being able to laugh and joke with them didn't make anybody be like, oh my God, this is
right.
I personally feel like Lindsay is a lot.
Oh, yeah.
But thankfully, I'm not married to her.
Mm-hmm.
Mark sits down with Lindsay's family and they gave him a Lindsay Survival Kit. This is how you know that Lindsay's a lot. Because
her folks gave a survival kit.
They were like, literally, this is how you survive, Lindsay. Here's a button for no. He was like, she's not her when she's hungry. Here's some snacks.
Always keep a snack.
I'm just like, oh my God. Like, she needs a survival kit. Like, it's too much for me. Like, Lindsay would be a friend that we would have to take in very small doses.
Yeah. Her dad was like, when she goes over into the deep end, he has to get to a point to where he's responsible for reeling her back in.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, Mark's eyes already look intense, man. They got real intense when they were talking about that. What else we got?
No, so I get to Puerto Rico next.
Oh, okay.
Is that where you are?
Yeah.
So they arrive in Puerto Rico, and apparently there's some dramatics between Lindsay and Elijahuan. It was explained a little bit on the after party, and on the bus as well, where essentially Lindsay asked Elijahuan, do you speak Spanish? He was like, yeah, a little bit. She was like, we're in Puerto Rico. Spanish is the native language. We need to speak their language. And he was like, bruh, I'm speaking English.
Why Elijahuan, though?
I don't know. The man with a Nigerian name has to speak Spanish.
Yeah.
Didn't make sense to me. Apparently, Lindsay said that she was joking with him by saying, I'm going to fight you. And he was like, nah. And she went into her, I felt unsafe. And I'm like, I wonder, did he actually do anything to make her feel unsafe in the moment? Or did she make herself unsafe? Like her mentally feel unsafe because she kept picking at him and he was like, dude, leave me alone.
Mm-hmm. I think Mark in this situation, he was put in a bad situation because first off, everybody's truly a stranger, right?
Mm-hmm.
He at this point,
but he's known Elijahuan
longer than he's known his wife. So it's like, okay, his wife is basically picking a fight with Elijahuan, and his best thing to do is not to choose sides.
Mm-hmm.
But he has to figure out how to be a impartial.
He did a very good job.
Oh, he did an awesome job by like bridging the gap and keeping, the peace between everybody, because Lindsay had took time out and this was a vet move. I was like, okay, Mark, you got some sense of yourself. Lindsay took time out and sat on the porch. Mark took that time, and I'm pretty sure they talked about it, to go down like the rest of the gang were like having drinks by the...
Yeah, they had a call sheet.
Yeah.
we're arriving at this time. Y'all are all sitting down for drinks at this time. Well, Lindsay has taken herself out of the equation. Mark, you're going as the representative.
Yeah.
Not necessarily to say he had to go, but he took the move to go as the representative for their relationship.
And basically, when he got there, he was like, we're going to talk about this elephant in the room. Hey, I'm sorry what happened. And Elijahuan, being Elijahuan, is like, hey, it wasn't your fault. You cool. You good. I'm good with Lindsay. We're just going to squash it and move on.
Katina's like,
Yeah.
She told my man she wanted to fight him, which on a previous episode of After Party, it seemed like there was already a little bit of tension between...
It did.
It was tension between Alyssa and... Lindsay, and Katina agreed with the reason for the tension. Yeah. And so Katina was siding with Alyssa in that moment.
And Jasmina agree with it.
But more so Katina being very vocal about it. So for Katina, you're not a first time offender.
Mm-hmm.
This is what you do. And I don't know Elijahuan, but I know that this is what you do. Because this is the second time you've done this and me knowing you for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah.
Not doing this. Mm-hmm. So I fully get why she jumped into that situation. Like, I don't want to be around her. But after that conversation with everyone, Mark goes back up to the room. And Lindsay's having a conversation with Mark about what happened. And she said that Elijahuan puffed his chest at her. And she said it made her feel unsafe, but Mark made her feel safe and cared for. And I think a lot of it was literally just Mark diffusing
that's situation. The word. He diffused the situation completely.
He's like, hey, we're here, separate. We're getting on this shuttle. Y'all are getting on this shuttle. Cool off.
Yeah.
And
we'll see y'all later.
Elijahuan was cool once that was like Lindsay was removed from the situation. And Lindsay just had to cool herself down.
Yeah. It's almost like you throwing stones and then putting your hands behind your back when somebody asks you about it. Mm-hmm. And I hate it when people do stuff like that. Like, own up to what you did, you know? So that's all I got for them.
So, she did say in her confessional that she thinks she loves him. And then when we watch...
Oh, you was talking about... Go ahead.
I'm talking about Lindsay and Mark.
Oh, yeah.
And then on the preview for...
On the next one,
I don't know if it was next episode. I just know it was like this season. On the honeymoon, she tells the girls that she thinks she loves him too.
Yeah.
So I guess that brings us to Elijahuan and Katina.
Mm-hmm.
So
he says she don't have stinky breath in the mornings.
I was like, my 2-year-old got stinky breath in the morning. What she do? Because we need that fixed for Lily. He doesn't know how to cuddle, and she was like, we're gonna have to work on that. And I was like, who doesn't know how to cuddle? And then I thought about it. If you're always getting up and going home when you done, you don't know how to cuddle.
You're not cuddling a lot.
Like, I think about us, we don't cuddle a lot because I get hot easy and you get hot easy. We'll be like, we got 3 minutes.
All right, you good? All right.
All right, break. So they do talk about their past relationships while they're laying in bed. He was like, he wasn't a cheater because he never gave these relationships titles. And she was a party girl. He was like, were you bringing dudes home?
He's trying to find out, what's my girl was she a goer? Was my woman
I'm like,
going?
You were, that's enough.
Right.
Like, that is enough. We don't need to find out anything else about anybody. So he goes downstairs and talks to her family. I think the guy there was her friend.
Yeah.
And then I don't remember the other people.
It was all her friends.
Okay.
You remember the girl that was like, sorry, Mom? She was there.
So her friend starts off asking, did y'all have sex? He was like, nah. And she was like, And basically he has this long conversation, which Elijahuan tends to do, where, they're asking him why he decided to get married. And he's like, I wanted to try something different. And the friend is like, marriage isn't something that you try different. Like, no.
Like in that conversation, I felt like the guy that was like her guy friend that was questioning Elijahuan just didn't believe Elijahuan, and it was nothing Elijahuan could do or say to make him believe in that conversation.
Would you have believed him?
I don't know. It's hard to say. Like it's like you don't know anybody's intentions until they show you. Because I can say a million things, but until I show you what I'm doing, it's like this conversation is kind of pointless. And I felt that way because I was like, you're judging this man by the way he looks, by the way, he's acting and stuff like that. But you're not really trying to have a real conversation with this guy and really get to know him. Or at least that's not what they showed us.
Is that a rabbit?
Squirrel.
So Katina sits down with, who is that she sat down with?
His mom, his second mom.
So
she was like, let me eat this food because I got to go to work.
Realist in the room.
Oh, man.
Y'all might all not have nothing to do today.
I gotta go to work.
I gotta go to work. She was like, let me eat this and I'm gonna talk in between my bites.
Yeah.
Here's a bag of things. I used to be his cheerleader. Your job now. Be well.
Yeah. That's really the conversation.
She didn't have anything to offer, anything to ask. She was just like, I gotta be at work in an hour. I'm starving. It took her too long to get down here. Took them too long to mic me up. It was something took too long. You could tell that in her face. But I don't have anything else for that conversation. We just get to, I wrote notes again about the altercation when they got to Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
And I fully understand Katina wanting to take Elijahuan's side in the Lindsay matter. In the Lindsay manner. Why I keep saying manner?
I don't know.
Lindsay matter. I don't know what could have been done differently after the now you need to speak English conversation to diffuse that outside of Mark separating them. But I'm happy that Mark did separate them. And I hope that Katina and Lindsay can coexist.
Yeah, Katina got to get something off her chest, man.
And it's going to be said with a finger like this.
She got to get it off her chest, man.
So then we got the confusion of the season. All right. So
you was done with them.
Yeah. You got anything else with them?
She when they went, I guess went back to their room, she was saying that she wants to be cautious with him, and he was wanting her to drop her guard.
I don't know you.
Right. That's the thing. And then he, both of them have to understand, he's going to have to work at it and she's going to have to work at it as well.
No, I get that. But it's I'm wondering, what did he want at 48 hours in? Because the first day we were getting married. The second day we spent half the time meeting up with each other's families.
Yeah.
So this is the first day, start to finish, where we have been in each other's spaces the entire time. I'm not gonna cry and have a conversation with you about my dog from third grade dying.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's I'm wondering what he's wanting in this moment. I don't think, maybe he's asked her questions in the times that the cameras are not there, but I don't know what he could have been wanting from her to appear more vulnerable in that moment.
Yeah. All right, man. Let's get to the main event,
All right,
man.
get to the mess.
This dumb.
So we
BS.
start back on the wedding day. Chris is sitting there in the hallway confused. Alicia has this rash reaction that she just doesn't want to talk about it, and she leaves. Packs up all of her stuff from the hotel room because remember she told him that she does not feel. She used the right buzzwords. I don't feel safe. And they went and got her own hotel room to stay in.
But you know, at this point, Chris does not know what happened.
Correct.
He doesn't know if he did something or like what happened. He just knows that she doesn't want to be in the room with him. And that's the first unfair thing. Mm-hmm. Like if you're going to do all this, at least tell him what he did.
And when he asked for a conversation about it, she declined. He was like, even without cameras, she was like, no. So I don't like you. I don't want to tell you why I don't like you, but I'm committed to this. No. Oh, I'm also going to leave. These things don't go together. So she shows up the next morning. She claims that she wants to have a good experience. And she doesn't say a good marriage. She just keeps saying experience. Like, we gonna ride out these 8 weeks.
Because that's what it is. She's already made her decision. We
not together. We just gotta make a good experience with each other. He says that they both need to be comfortable with the pace that they're going. So, you know, he's agreeing, you want to take this slower? We can do whatever you want to do.
And that's unfair.
But that ticked off.
Right.
So, Chris sits down with Alyssa's mom, and he basically repeats what she said, and the mom looks stunned as if her daughter has never said any BS like that before. I don't get why her mom was stunned. Like, you raised this child. You know she crazy.
Mm-hmm. And she was like, just give her time. Like, let her warm up. Like, no, man, y'all know exactly what's going on with this girl. And like, I feel so bad for Chris, man, even at this point, because Chris is still racking his brain on like, what do we do? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? He's still like, he's going to them asking like, basically, yo, tell me what to do.
Me.
Like, I really want to do this, but I'm getting the short end of the stick for whatever reason. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So, that conversation didn't really help a lot because they basically was like, hey, just give her time.
Right.
And when she talked to his folks,
she gave very rehearsed answers.
Yeah.
Basically, everything that she said sounded like she was on a Married at First Sight interview. Mm-hmm. Now, I will say, when she talked to his friends at the wedding, they were like, he likes to mansplain things. He can be condescending. Probably not the best things to say to somebody that's married to your friend that has never met him.
Right.
Or doesn't really know him. Then they tell her that he's driven and that he doesn't really have a lot of time because he's a realtor, so he's always on his phone. And I know this was filmed in 2021. In 2021, like, I looked at how much people that I know that were selling houses, how much their phones rang. Like, if he's been in this is what he does full time. Mm-hmm. He's making a lot of deals right now. So, I mean, I completely get it. I wrote, she's a prick. I don't even use the word prick. But that was the only thing that I could come up with to accurately describe her personality.
Yeah.
So they go back to the hotel room and they find out that they're going to Puerto Rico. And so Chris is trying to make the best of the situation. He's like, hey, when we get to Puerto Rico, because he's been before, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think she had been at all.
I'm not sure.
But he was like, hey, you know, we can go downtown. We can go shopping. And she's like, I'd rather lay at the beach. And he's like, okay, well, we can just hang out at the beach. And she's like, I don't want someone that's going to change their plans because I don't want to do what they're going to want to do. I'm like, so you don't want him to mansplain things to you, which I get, but you also don't want him to try to adjust himself to want to.
Because she don't want to be in this marriage. Like, she's done with the whole situation. She's just riding it out until she can leave.
Like, I get it. Production is like, hey, because people have said that Jamie Otis had like a crazy reaction to Doug, right?
Like, she'd like.
Because I didn't watch that season.
That was the very first season.
So if Jamie and Doug are still married.
Yeah.
So if Jamie had this reaction, I get it. Production is hopeful that things can turn around, right? I fully get that. But at some point, we have to say, hey, this isn't working. You're not trying. I'm going to stop wasting money on this because they're wasting money on additional hotel rooms.
Yep. At this point, they've bought 2 for them. 3, actually, at this point, because we're in Puerto Rico.
Because she stayed 2 nights in the hotel suite from when they got married. And then Puerto Rico, she gets a totally different room. And it's like, girl, if you're so unsafe, why are you here?
And you make it, and the thing was for me, she made it so awkward. And I'm going to say she, because Chris was like, Chris can't do any wrong in this situation. He was trying to be as normal as possible with them on the trip.
Like, if Chris had cussed her out, we would still be like, she deserved it.
She does.
Like, the general viewing public would be like, I get it.
Right.
I might not have handled it that way, but I get it.
Right. But we all like looking at the situation, how awkward it is for them to like just be around the rest of the couples. Because I felt like she was sitting way too close to Michael. And when they were sitting having drinks.
Even when they got on the when they climbed on the rocks to look at the water, she was like right there beside like Michael.
I was like, be with your, like, at least just go over there and try to be friendly with him. You know what I'm saying? Like,
or be by yourself.
Right. But like, you make it awkward for the other couples. No, and like, I don't know who said it, but somebody was like, yeah, we kind of know not to just ask
Michael
anything.
That was who said to Michael.
Oh, okay.
So she's just making it completely uncomfortable for everyone. Like, nobody wants to ask anything. Nobody wants to say anything. And everybody's kind of trying to get away from that energy of what they have to do.
Right, because they're happy.
Unless it's what they have to do with her.
Yeah.
So then Alyssa and Chris go back up to their hotel room. They're standing on the balcony. They're having a conversation. And then he just like flat out lays out the timeline. Like, this happened, then this happened, then this happened, then this happened. Where did you say that you tried?
She said, I did. You think I'm lying? He said, yes. Oh,
everybody, the general viewing public thinks you are a liar. Now, the interesting thing is my cousin added me to a Married at First Sight group that I try not to read anything from until after we've watched the episode, because people are going in there posting in real time. Alyssa's actually in this group.
Is she?
She's not saying anything. Because from the Atlanta season, what's his name? Jacob. Jacob is actually in the group too.
Yeah.
Jacob waited until the show was completely done to like start engaging with people.
Yeah.
But like, Alyssa's in the group. She's not saying anything, but I'm like, people are outright in here tagging you in things. Like, girl, you need to know how wrong you are.
Oh, my dear.
And so it's like, you had a rash reaction to him however many months ago this was filmed, and now you got to relive it again. Like, why are you torturing yourself like this?
Yeah. Yeah.
You're going to need to be in some serious therapy after this.
Like when she said that she stormed off because he called her a liar. But I was like, you are lying. Like, you haven't tried. Like, you only try that you had was leading up to the point that you seen him. Like, you tried when it came to looking for a wedding dress. You tried to look for a wedding dress and you succeeded. You signed up for this. You made it all the way down the aisle. You said, I do. But once you went through the reception and did all that part, once you got to the hotel, your trying stopped.
Mm-hmm.
You went immediately to the production people. He's sitting out there waiting on you, and
because he ain't got nothing else to do.
Right. And y'all have this off-camera conversation and to say, this is what's wrong with me, and this is that, and this is that.
I would really like to lay out Chris's conversation that he had with her with a timeline of events on a sheet of paper and be like, can you circle where you tried?
Where try. Do you know what try means?
Circle. And when you circle it, I want you to tell me specifically what you did to try.
Now, the crazy part about it is she thought he was cute. She never would have any trouble. That's the thing. It's like she not attracted to him and she don't want to try.
If you're going to have that type of reaction to what a person looks like, you should not have done Married at First Sight.
Did Married at First Sight.
That's the point blank and the period of it all.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just should not have done this show.
Yeah.
Well, we see who's going to be our issue for the majority of the season. Hopefully, she disappears like Chris did.
Hopefully.
But also does not come back like Chris did.
Hopefully, Chris...
Chris and Paige, Chris.
No, the Chris from this episode, from this season, I think he grows a backbone and starts to stand up to her a little bit.
And I don't think that he had to grow a backbone. I think that he's still playing this very gently because he's like, look, I signed up for this. I wanted to be married. So I'm trying to navigate this with you. Give me something.
I guess I'm like, you have like I'm not thinking of it from I gotta impress you, like my first impression, but your first impression to me, matters too. Like what I think of you matters as well. And once I get something like you have something in your head, once I get something in my head, that's it, pretty much. So,
my knees locked up.
I think Elijahuan said it best. Elijahuan said it on the after party, and I'm gonna include this just because it's happened already, is that
we watched it.
Yeah, we watched it. Is that she signed up for this. She got matched with somebody that she's not attracted to, and she's just trying to find something to hold on to give a reason to say no.
Yeah, I don't want to say he's not attractive. Like he's not my type, but I mean, I'm not calling him ugly, but like his friends said.
Yeah, and that's what it was. Elijahuan was like, his friends are trash for saying that and stuff like that. So, and I think they were actually just saying that to be like not jokingly, but in a joking manner. Like he comes off condescending, but
he's not trying to be.
He's not trying to be condescending. So this is the type of deal. But she just, her thing is, she said she doesn't like him and she's not attracted to him, and she's trying to find out, and that's it.
You got anything else for him? Because she exhausts me. All right. If you guys haven't already, please comment down, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and comment down below what you think of this week's episode. I don't even have... Oh, that's the question. Did Katina do too much by saying she didn't want to be in the same space as Lindsay? Because I can't say if Lindsay did too much, because I think we all agree that she did.
Yeah, I'm with that.
Did Katina do too much? That'll be the question for this week. We will see you guys next week. Bye.
Peace.